I think it's 1:03, so let's go ahead and get started. Again, welcome to the Valentine's Day panel. I've been joined here by some of our lovely partners who I'm going to let introduce themselves before we dive into some top marketing trends for Valentine's Day.
I can go first. Thanks, Catherine and the Justuno team. We actually, well, my name is Brett. I'm the founder and CEO of Gatsby. We're an integration partner with Justuno and a bunch of players in the Shopify ecosystem, like Omnisend and other folks that are here today as well. And actually, we're really excited for Justuno's update, which I know you guys are getting ready to release. And so we put out some content today about that. It's just super exciting to see it. Really quickly, Gatsby helps merchants with their community management. So basically putting in Instagram and TikTok insights into tools like Omnisend and Klaviyo and others to automate engagement with your audience. And that's what we do.
Awesome. Thanks, Brett.
Thanks. Hey everyone, I'll go next. My name is Steph and I'm from Justuno. And Justuno, if you're not aware, kind of getting to know us, is a platform where you can really customize your on-site experience through pop-ups that can either be messaging or special offers. And we work with our partners that are on this call, all to make that experience work well from the first time they're on their site to their return visit, and everything post-purchase as well. So a lot of elements to a customer's experience on your website, and we really help addressing all those touch points with your visitor there. So excited to hear from everyone today.
I can jump in here. Hello, everyone. I am Josh Rouser. I'm the Senior Sales Director here at Sezzle. We are a buy now, pay later fintech company. So I work with brands for the last 3 years on implementing Sezzle as a buy now, pay later option for their e-commerce and their brick and mortar locations. So happy to kind of hear what some of the strategies are around marketing this year and how we can help acquire more customers and drive some additional revenue.
Awesome. My name is Rhian Beutler. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Gavalo. We're reinventing the digital gifting experience, making it easy to gift on Shopify, not just gift cards, but also giftable products and giftable subscriptions. Super pumped to be here. We love a holiday that is driven by gifting. So Valentine's Day is one of them. So super amped to be here. Have integrations with tons of folks, just like Brett mentioned. And yeah, let's get to work.
Awesome. Greg.
All right. And finally for me here, last and probably a little bit least as well, Greg Zakwas. I'm here with Omnisend. We are an email and SMS marketing automation platform. We're built specifically for e-commerce merchants, plug and play integrations with your major e-com platform, Shopify included, and our wonderful partners that we integrate with here on the call as well. So I'm looking forward to everything that you guys can throw at us from a question standpoint. And if anything post-event, feel free to reach out to myself, or I'm sure everyone on the panel will include the same thing as well.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for those introductions. So we're going to dive right in. In 2022, US shoppers spent an average of $175 per person on Valentine's Day, with 52% of them shopping. How do you guys think that the economic climate this year is going to impact spending?
I feel like with spending, it's nice to know that people are spending, and like we're in the billions of just how everyone is spending totally. So I think that will give way for more personalized gifts to be given, which in the end could probably mean spending a little bit more. So I would say we'll probably see people being consistent with spending on that higher end for this gifting time versus maybe other times in the year where we're kind of in that recession talk. Everyone's kind of feeling out how the year is going to play out, but we're so close to Christmas and now that holiday played out, it still feels like gifting mode or kind of like redemption mode right now if your Christmas didn't go as expected.
100% agree.
Well said.
Yeah, I also want to add, like, I'm watching the markets right now, like just, outside of my role at Gatsby, and it's just a very interesting time, as we all know, with yesterday with the Fed decision, and then the remarks that Jerome Powell made and the market reaction, and then today with Meta stock up 25%, at least it was an hour ago when I last checked. I mean, sentiment, who knows if this is short-lived, but I think all of this, I don't know, this excitement around potentially the economy maybe not being as bad as we thought near the end of last year, there might have been some people who didn't spend in the holidays that now feel more comfortable. And American Express and Visa and others said that, hey, consumers are still spending. That data came out just a few days ago. So I don't know. I think it's, like I said, it's a really interesting time. A lot of people are saying this is a head fake, but for all of us on this call, it's like, I guess, hope that it continues to go this direction.
Josh, have you guys seen
Yeah.
an increase with people choosing buy now, pay later, or any sort of like defaulting on payments?
We haven't really seen a big default in payments. We have seen increase in UMS, which is underlying merchant sales. So to see the adoption rate continue to take off and merchant sales continue to lift month over month and year over year, it just shows for us that it's consumers spending is still trending in the right direction. And I think too, just having a plethora of different payment options, whether it's digital or in-store, or maybe bringing kind of both together as an omni-channel experience, is something that I think we're going to continue to see. And especially when you talk about interest-free type of options out there and getting rid of the interest that credit cards have for consumers too, I think the adoption model for buy now, pay later is going to continue to grow.
Yeah, Josh, I heard today that or yesterday something that the interest rates for credit cards are at all-time highs right now. Never been this high before. So I mean, I'm just gotta think, being in your position, it's gotta be an interesting time for you guys, be able to offer lower rates.
It definitely is. And you think about too, the demographic of the consumers who previously adopted buy now, pay later was more so, Gen Z, flowed into the Gen X a little bit, but now because it is so prevalent and so present on so many websites out there, that we're starting to see more Gen Xers, more baby boomers adopted as well. So it is becoming more normalized to use this type of product. And it's a way for us to basically provide a credit card like option, but without the negative drawbacks that comes with, remarks on your credit profile. And then again, the high interest rates as well.
I think one thing that's really important to note too about general consumer sentiment is historically, right? Like if we look at the Great Recession and et cetera, moving back, even when folks are feeling a personal squeeze, they're less likely to buy for themselves, but still more likely to buy for other people. And that's really important to remember. That we have such a gifting culture, not just in North America, right? Where it's more important. We're like, okay, well, do I really need this thing that I bought for myself, right? Like we've all done that. We're like, oh, I'm just treating myself. But now we might be like, well, I'm not going to treat myself, but I will treat the people that I love. And that's just really important to remember, that it's super critical to ensure that your gifting strategy is aware of that, and that brands don't forget that people are really spending money and continuing to spend money. And in fact, like the AOV is going up to, I can't remember who said it about Amex, I think it was Brett. Consumer confidence is relatively high, and the recession that we were all warned about kind of didn't happen except for in tech. And so they're gifting more.
In mind, thinking that consumers are still going to keep shopping, gifting for other people, what kind of content and ads, things like that, should brands be emphasizing right now for Valentine's Day?
I think trying to push some of those exact same things. So pushing the gifting side, and not so much for just the significant other or who you typically buy that one person for, but I would look at it for friends. I think someone in the chat here mentioned dogs. We were talking about this offline before the event started, right? How much we're spending on dogs and their pets and things like that, right? So every kitten needs a new, collar or stuff. But I'm not the evil guy, but I buy things for my kids, right? Just small little trinkets for Valentine's Day. Me and my wife do not exchange presents, haven't done it in years. But we will buy things for other people, right? Send flowers to someone you love. So I think pushing that, especially with the younger generation now, people will buy things for their friends. And I think if you can hit on the significant other, you hit on the pets, you hit on that giving, like Rand said, I think you have the ability to then increase your average order value, increase those sales, and the overall good feeling that comes with buying something for someone else.
Yeah, I like that. I feel like you mentioned, like, maybe the sentiment just isn't there for yourself anymore to gift, but it's there for other people, which people are still willing to spend. So I think that's on the merchants and of course us too, as just like the products, to kind of help push the idea of where you can gift and where your gift falls in there. And when it comes to content and ads, I would probably stick with that customization aspect if you provide it, or try to see how you can fit customization into this holiday time. So I probably a lot of people know Mrs. Fields, for example, with cookies. And that's really the direction they're going in. On their whole website, we are Valentine's Day focused, and ads are highlighting that ability to customize a cookie or send something at the right time. So different customization levels based on maybe when someone needs to receive their special gift. Maybe it's not on the exact day, they're traveling, and you want them to get it really special. So either shipping or actual customization of the product.
Anybody have any thoughts about that by price point, holiday characteristics?
I think brands should always create gift guides. I love a gift guide. I think they're fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of obviously including gift cards or giftable subscriptions in your gift guide, but also just curating it, right? Like, okay, $25, $50, $100 depends on what your AOV is. And then if your product is gendered, split by gender. If you are a food product, if there's gluten-free options, nut-free options, like really you can do all sorts of really cool stuff that makes it really easy for the buyer to get over the finish line and to convert. But you have to make it really easy. Like we just have to, it's just like a CRO 101 lesson that we tend to forget. And it's make it so easy that you feel like it's almost too easy. And then that's when people convert.
And on that, well, really quickly, I was just going to mention, like, what is a gift guide but a recommendation, right? And as we all know, I mean, recommendations from people, not from the brand, tend to do even, there's more authenticity there. Even if it's an influencer and people know there's probably some relationship here with the brand, it still tends to perform even better than branded content. So it's a great opportunity to get that gift guide out through the social network, ambassadors, community, influencers, let them decide what they're wanting to promote. There's a lot of tools out there, like Gatsby obviously is one of those tools. I'm biased, that I think is obviously up there as one of the best. But so many tools out there, even ones that are not even like Gatsby, like to know it, that allow influencers to curate a visual board for people to share what they like and recommend. So definitely just to hit on that same idea, like this is a great opportunity for community to get in and involved.
Totally.
No, 100%. We've traditionally have done gift guides with email campaigns and through our Sezzle marketplace and app. And a lot of what you can do too, if you have the right data and the customer demographic is use that shopping behavior and what they've purchased in the past to kind of curate those specialty gift guides based on just what their purchase history looks like. So you can really segment and you can really target out your customers in a way that you probably have never been done before through a specialized gift guide there too, based on their repurchase history.
We actually talked about this as a group the other day as well, and it really kind of stuck with me. Was this is also a good opportunity to ask for more zero-party data that you can use at this point. So for example, like to go back to dogs, my vet's office and some other subscriptions I use for my dog, they know my dog's name. So of course, when it's his birthday, we're getting, hey, it's Sprout's birthday, and so if you can get information like who is the person's significant other, at least if they have one or not, or maybe what their name is or anything about them, it's a great, or I think we talked about the anniversary date for your relationship, like things like that. Yeah, Sprout's kind of famous among my my Gatsby community because every one of my test posts includes a Sprout picture. But anyways, I think it's a great opportunity to take advantage of that with this Valentine's Day holiday, is to figure out more about that person's relationship, and then you can target them with information for that use case.
To go off of that, Fred, like with the relationship part too, and you kind of hit on it, like if you have your affiliates or on Instagram, any gifts there, that you can curate your gift guide based off of like this influencer's gift guide. And then you're showing that to just visitors that are coming from social or specifically Instagram. So that's kind of where you're relating that content on your other channels to how they arrive on site. So it can either be your staff gift guide, just what your visitors are telling you are the most purchased, and then maybe an influencer.
And this is why I'm so excited about Justuno's updates coming out, because what's so cool is you guys have one of the most probably maybe the most intelligent like form solution out there, because you have all these inputs that can come in and personalize the site experience based upon like where that person is coming from, right? So what I want to get to, by the way, this year, and this is not available right now, I don't think it can be done, but the ability to know if somebody comes from an influencer's post, show that influencer's name and picture in the initial form. That's like, hey, welcome. We see you came from at ABC's, feed. We'd love to show you her favorite products, and be able to get that information to funnel a really personalized site experience through a Justuno, potentially Gatsby, or even just Justuno experience with other data sources coming in is really cool.
Totally. I wonder if there's like a dog influencer out there. I don't know of any, but I would be influenced.
Oh,
or my
sure.
dog.
So
Are
many
there
Buds,
many?
influencers.
Buds
Oh,
McKenzie
okay,
was
yeah.
the first.
There you go.
So
Definitely
with
follow.
gift guides, I think the other thing, and this kind of ties in the question that someone just asked here as well, but I think the one thing with gift guides, I think the frame of the conversation has been around gifting for someone else, but we have people who are single or who are widowed or maybe are younger, right? So they're not in relationships yet, but we're still trying to sell them products. So we can have gift guides for single people as well. So gift guides for singles and couples or whatever it might be. So we don't have to frame this 100% as someone else as well. We can still frame that gifting for yourself, even though we see that kind of that sentiment coming down. But if you're not gifting to someone else, the sentiment's going to be there because you are that person. So don't ignore those single person gift guides.
Comes to though somebody who's maybe selling some higher priced items like Hannah just asked that are not going to maybe fit into a typical person's gifting budget, what are some recommendations for how to approach this? I think Josh, this is right up you, and maybe
Yeah, I can jump in here.
Yeah.
So-
y'all can tag team this one.
Yeah, I think using a buy now, pay later strategy in this type of case, I think would be really important. But more so being able to message that out with your gift guide, and using simple brand assets that's provided by whether it's Sezzle or another buy now, pay later, to show that you offer flexible financing options or flexible payment options. And then just kind of give a little bit of background. Like we have widgets that display on company websites on their product pages, and it will educate that customer on how Sezzle actually works. How to use it at checkout, what it does from a payment standpoint, breaks up their purchase into 4 payments over 6 weeks with no interest and no impact to credit score. So it's a really easy education element. And what that does is that really helps with card insertions, helps with conversions at checkout as well. But to your question, Hannah, it's a great way to get those higher priced items over that price sensitive threshold that a shopper might kind of be at.
Something that we also see a lot of with some of our brands that are, let's say they sell diamonds, and so that's really above a usual gifter's threshold, is we have folks who offer gift cards in higher denominations. So let's say that the average product on your site's like $500, and that's a difficult hump to get over. And maybe the gifter doesn't want to buy now, pay later. Maybe they're like, no, I'm only in for $50. I'm only in for $100. Like that's actually how much I want to spend on this gift. But like, I want to give it to them, and they're going to go wild, and they can order whatever they want. And so what we recommend doing is setting gift cards at certain values dependent on your price point. And so either it's like, like starting at a quarter of your price point, half of your price point, and that's like your average price point. And going up, we saw a lot of adoption around holiday with our higher price point brands, which include anything from like upscale cookware to literal diamonds.
That totally makes sense. I love the idea of those gift card tiers. I feel like that puts a lot of power into the hands of the recipient too. It's like, well, I got a $200 gift card. What I want's $400, and it's 50% off for me. So I feel like that's a great way to kind of encourage people maybe into those higher tiers and stuff. So love that idea, Rand. So in addition to that, I feel like gift cards kind of tie into this next question, but I think that a lot of companies, especially since this is the first gifting holiday after the winter holidays, are really looking for a way to re-engage maybe those new customers they just acquired from the holiday season. So what are maybe some specific strategies for that segment that brands could activate for Valentine's Day?
I'll take first stab at the engagement, sort of what I focus on day to day in building at least social engagement. So a really cool strategy that just came out through Gatsby there might be some other tools out there that can do it as well. So this is not a Gatsby only plug, but it is really, really cool. That is Instagram DM automation. So what we're seeing brands start to do is they want their Instagram content to reach a larger audience, right? Everybody wants that, especially for free, like organic reach. So the way you can do that is by sending a newsletter out to all of your customers and say, hey, DM us the phrase, I love Valentine's Day, or I love jeans, or whatever it is that you're selling, whatever phrase you want to play with. And as soon as that DM comes in, Gatsby can automate a response on your behalf saying, hey, thanks for entering our campaign. Here's a code for a gift this Valentine's season, or here's an entry to win one of our raffle prizes, whatever you want to do. But that DM coming from the consumer to the merchant unlocks that third channel. You may have email, may have SMS, and then you have social engagement coming in, and that unlocks a lot more information from them about them on Instagram and gets that organic reach up. And it takes such a little amount of time to set it up. Like we're talking minutes, not hours.
I love the idea of being able to like send a unique word and just have it be like my custom kind of promo. I feel like that I just made or something. I think I'm excited for that feature, especially for like on our side, of course, we work on Justuno with gathering the social handle so that you can then target or address that visitor either as a visitor or like look to them as an affiliate. And I think during this time, whenever you are thinking about how to re-engage these high value customers, it could be where you are maybe focusing more on that affiliate relationship and kind of emphasizing what they're portraying your brand as, or whatever maybe free gift they're putting out there for you. And then because the holidays were Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Christmas, all of it just feels very recent, I would say change up the offer and so that it doesn't feel like you're just giving the same thing, something that's redundant. And that could be influenced by the products that we've mentioned, like what a gift guide would be, right? So maybe you're combining products on your website that you typically wouldn't, but now in this whole gift guide scenario, if someone buys that whole gift guide, then they get a certain percentage off or some kind of gift card that they can redeem at a later time. So definitely switching it up during this time. And it's okay to kind of be just a little more fun in how you're delivering that.
Today is a great opportunity for that fun messaging because,
Yeah.
we have seen, I feel like a lot of people, it's just a race to the bottom discount wise, but Valentine's Day,
Yeah, it's like,
gift, that extra fun can definitely really shine through here.
yeah, I feel like a lot of merchants could stand out at this time. Like, oh, like you kind of fit into this as well at a time when I am looking to gift, and they'll surprise you.
Absolutely.
Something we saw a lot of during holiday. I'm like, what's the last thing we did during holiday? Was we saw brands like Great Jones, Costa Bella, Curie do, if you spend X, then you get Y. So whether it's a gift or whatever, and then the upsell was either, so Great Jones did something I thought was really cool. It's if you send a gift card as in to somebody else, then over, I think $100, then you get store credit to us. So you're like, it's not a discount, because I'm like allergic to discounts. Because I don't, like you said, right, it can be like race to the bottom, but there's a way to discount while being value add, which is the same thing, just marketed differently and assumed differently by the end user, or the buyer. So I just wanted to add that as a thought, is like thresholding in general, but it can be really, really beneficial. And also like what Brett was talking about with first party data, then if you're like, hey, send gift cards, we'll give you store credit, then all of a sudden you're getting like more and more and more users information or potential buyers information.
Yeah, I feel like you can also create segments in your ESP too for like, these are gifters, they've sent one or more gift cards. Like, let's always reach out to them for these types of holidays. Again, for, Q4 this year, for not getting too ahead of ourselves. But then also you have the secondary segment too of the giftee. So you're kind of getting, two birds, one stone there, which I think is really powerful for businesses. So moving on, I think we've kind of already touched on this a lot with the dogs and the galentines and stuff, but there is such like an expanded definition of like the typical industry that can take advantage of Valentine's Day. So kind of how do you think brands can use that in their messaging? And how do you think that can kind of be like what differentiates them maybe?
Josh does not know. Does not want to talk. But he lives lots of.
No,
Like, gotta go.
my camera tends to go in and out a little bit. So working with it. No, but I think when kind of thinking about this question, kind of like if you were to miss the mark on Christmas, right, or like the holiday season, that's kind of a unconventional way as far as like the typical industry to benefit from Valentine's Day here is, it gives you an opportunity to kind of redeem yourself, especially if it's with a significant other. You can kind of see if they really well received your gift when they open it up during the holidays, and you're like, shoot, maybe I should have got them something different. But now with Valentine's right around the corner, it gives you that kind of that bonus holiday to kind of make up for it in the same sense.
And similar, like speaking about kind of more significant others, and I think this could also play work for the Valentine's Day and sort of like the Friends Day too. But I'm recently married. This will be my first Valentine's Day as a husband. But because like it's not like our first year together, like dating and stuff, what I get most excited about is a different kind of gift than it may have been before. And I think my wife's in the same page. I should probably ask her. But I feel like more practical gifts, things that I actually would probably want that may not be romantic or chocolate, but you can sort of like if you're a brand that's selling a more non-traditional style of Valentine's Day product, you can totally market around that to be like, hey, you sell tools or something. Hey, your guy might want tools this Valentine's Day season, right? Or you sell CBD. Maybe that's not, who knows what you sell, but it doesn't have to be flowers and chocolates to play on this holiday.
Yeah, it's thoughtful
Yeah,
giving. It's thoughtful giving, right? It's doing
Exactly.
something that the other person wants or uses or mentioned one time that you jotted down, and you're giving something that might be utilitarian, but there's thought behind it, right? So it could be $5. They'll love it.
Yeah. And maybe it's like a part of the gift. Like you mentioned tools. Like, hey, are you waiting to like build her shed for her? Like, here you go, build the shed. Like, I don't know, very extended of Valentine's Day. Like you gift it for yourself, but you know what I mean.
You're over there
100%.
trying to get
Sounds
a
like
she
sounds like
shed.
my
I love
house.
it.
Sounds like my house right now.
Roger,
Exactly, yeah.
Or it's like a new sink faucet, like just a little hint, like you wanted this a sink
Yeah.
faucet.
I'll
It's
help
kind
you,
of
I swear.
thoughtful.
I love it. So as we're kind of starting to head towards the end here, I think one of the most important things, so it's already February 2nd, so we got 12 days until Valentine's Day. So what is maybe the number one thing that one of our attendees today can be doing that will have the highest impact for such a short time frame?
Ooh, I'll bring one up that you're probably thinking about if you have Amazon or are selling on other, like outside of your website or on social, for example. And I guess my thought is to really focus on connecting Amazon in your website, not viewing it as competitor, however you're viewing it in your flow right now, because it will give you that speedy delivery. It will make it really easy. Like you can be confident that that's going to go out. And in your website, you can have a banner that's either taking them to Amazon, letting them know what you have going on Amazon. So I think it's a time where you could use those really strategically in order to get things out sooner.
Yeah, and I'll say it from an email and SMS standpoint, but browse abandonment messages, I mentioned in the chat a minute ago, but these are really powerful messages. They're behavior-based, they're timely for browsing. So if we know they haven't purchased yet, being able to hit them with that automated reminder based on either a category or specific products they're looking at, kind of keep them engaged here. So we have kind of put this in perspective about how impactful. We have a stats report coming out either tomorrow or Monday. They're ungated, so you can just kind of take a look through. But from an automation standpoint, last year, 88% of all automation orders from an email standpoint came from 3 messages, and that was your welcome, cart, and browse abandonment. So if you look at those, all high intent messages to highly engaged customers. So it makes a lot of sense there. But not having those browse abandonment messages, you kind of get them once they leave the site. You kind of leave it up to your whim or retargeting there. So I would focus on cart abandonment just to keep them engaged. And if they don't purchase, fine, but at least you're staying in competition with them there.
I would also say to be running right now, you're like a full court press across the board, all channels, right? So it feels like the obvious, like it's like obvious. You're like, yeah, obviously. But if you're running an OmniSend campaign, right? We have an integration with OmniSend. There's so many days before there's a shipping cutoff, just like holiday, just like Christmas time. And then, so what we see people doing, right, is they're pushing their physical products, their personalized physical products up to a certain day, then they flip. And then, or they'll put gift cards like at the bottom, and then there's a day and all the marketing changes, right? It's like, and you only have time for a gift card. Guess what? You can schedule it though. And Bob's your uncle. So I think that's important to do, is to remind people there are shipping deadlines. Like, I think people forget sometimes, and you're like, no, it's not just a holiday. It's year round. It's year round.
I feel
One
like they
thing I
don't think it's real, like shipping deadline. So it's like, this is happening.
I can get it anytime.
It'll get there.
One thing that I think has been pretty impactful, I mean, for us anyways at Sezzle, with our marketplace, we're able to highlight brands that have deals going on. And so, and talking to brands, kind of understanding like how they do their deal management and what their deal cycle looks like when they're offering discounts. You know, there's been merchants that have told that we do daily deals. So it always changes every single day, so that someone's always going to want to see, hey, what's the deal for today on X's website? Let me keep going to that website to see kind of what they have going on. I'm waiting for my specific product, my gift, whatever I want to trigger on that deal. And from a Sezzle kind of retroactive view, we're able to promote those deals to our users. And so we do that with our app and our marketplace. So kind of leveraging another channel to get in front of a larger user base that maybe you haven't targeted just yet. So if you're working with other partners that do have those channels, what can you leverage on their end to get in front of their user base too?
I would just add as well on that, to Josh's point, like I'm not even talking as a founder of Gatsby, but more so as just a consumer of products. There was a campaign that really got to me during the holidays, and I was actually on my honeymoon and I was still watching this brand because it was Black Friday, right? So I was going to get this, I was going to buy, I do all my shopping at Black Friday for the year, like all my clothes, I just do it all that time. And there was a brand, I'll just say their name because I'm not associated with them at all. It's True Classic. There was two brands I was looking at, True Classic and one other one, I can't remember. I think it was one of these two. And they did like 8 days of lead up to the holidays of like each day was a different offer. And I was always like, there was some FOMO in there. I was like, oh, if I don't do this one today, what's tomorrow? And maybe I should lock in this one today. And I don't know, I found it kind of fun and it was exciting, and ended up buying a bunch of stuff. So just an idea. If maybe too late to do it for Valentine's Day this year, once you have your act together. But I thought it was pretty helpful.
That definitely kind of is like, well, maybe tomorrow's better, but maybe not. So love that. Awesome. Well, I'm gonna please put any more questions you guys have for us in the chat and we'll make sure we answer them. But my last question for our panelists today is going to be, what are the maybe most important zero and first party data pieces we can be collecting now from Valentine's Day to use moving forward in the spring and the summer to kind of help supercharge our campaigns then? Just thinking about what we can collect now.
Social handle.
Yeah, social.
Yeah, so that's all I have to say. You can go on now.
See ya.
I was going to say,
For sure.
with gift cards, right? Because we send gift cards directly to the gift recipient, or giftable subscriptions. Again, it goes to the gift recipient, not the buyer, or giftable products, gift recipient. So it's a way to acquire a new customer that you don't already have, owning then that relationship and continuing to market to them, like not just making it a one-off situation, making them happy customers for life, right? Because if you gift a subscription, you're a super fan of the brand. There's no reason to gift a subscription unless like you're obsessed with the brand, because that's like a big commitment. And same with any kind of meaningful gift card or product. You're like, no, I love this brand, you should love it too. And so that's really important too. And just maintaining that relationship, keeping it warm like a hot potato, and just nurturing. Run those nurture campaigns.
Yeah, I feel like that's such an easy ask. If they've like gifted, or if they have been gifted, even like, were you gifted this? You can ask any visitor that. And when it
100%.
comes to the zero or first party data, from Justuno perspective, you can, on the first party side, you can see the last time they purchased. So this would be a time like if they purchased in February, we know that next year that gives us some ammo to retarget. And then just as you go through your promos for the rest of the year, if you do have that marketing calendar planned out, you have that really engaged segment already. So maybe it's a segment that you learn a lot from, or that you really target more aggressively and really address whatever it is that like the holidays giving you there.
Yeah, and I would say selfishly email and SMS, email and mobile
Yeah.
number, right? So we can retarget. And I think it just ties, obviously you're tying that into your ecom platform, but it's going to tie all these other data points that everyone has mentioned, right? I think the idea is to use everything together, segment, retarget, browse history, all those things tying. So simple pop-up form, email, mobile number, let them give it to you. If they don't, that's cool too. But that's where I would go with it.
Awesome. Love it. Well, last call for any more questions in the chat for us. And while we wait to see if any more come in, what is each one of our panelists' final tidbit? Short and sweet, funny puns, whatever it is, your number one tip.
I would say like chocolate and flowers are still really cool. Like that's still would love that. I know Katie said she would love that. So like maybe you incorporate that into your gifting, or like a cool add-on, like you give a really sweet chocolate, I don't know, setup. Like that could be cool. So maybe don't overthink it, right? These are really good strategies that you can implement with what you have on site and really make it unique to your brand.
Let's say personalization. I mean, yeah, customizing gifting, I think is really big. I think it shows that you put more thought into just buying something from, a brick and mortar store. But if you're able to customize that, give it to somebody, I mean, I feel like it shows that there was a lot of thought behind that type of gift. So, if there's something that your brand can do where you can allow personalization for your products, I think 100% if you can incorporate that, that'll be a big strategy for you.
Yeah, so it's less of advice than just kind of a quick story, but we mentioned subscriptions a minute ago. I do very little subscriptions. I do my coffee on subscription. I do my media like Netflix and things like that, and Prime, and I don't do any other subscriptions. I've gifted subscriptions a lot though, right? So I love when they offer, say, a 3-month subscription to something. So you can do flowers. I mean, they got it everything, right? You could even do it for your dog, but we talk about thoughtfulness. Those things can be thoughtful as well. So as opposed to getting flower delivery or I don't know, cheesecake delivery or something, right? It comes 3 months in a row, and that has some thought, some meaning behind it. But you also get a little more data because that's something you can always retarget with subscriptions or hit them, later after they lapse. And hey, love it as a gift. How about treat it for yourself, right? So there's those opportunities there if you are a subscription type business.
Awesome. That's a great one.
This is just a general thought, like as a gift receiver, as a human, if you give an Amazon gift card or a Visa gift card or an Amex gift card, it's like saying, oh, you have a pulse and you like stuff. It's like the least personal thing that you can do. And personalization, to everybody's point, is critical. And so making sure that there's an option on your store to do that, right? To send a personalized gift, whatever that is. Maybe you're like, Ryan, I'm tired of you talking about gift cards. Awesome. Make sure you have gift wrap. Like, make sure you can add a note. Like, these really fundamental little things can make such a huge difference in the gift buying experience. And if a buyer is on your store and they see that you don't have it, they're likely to bounce and go somewhere else because they're like, oh, this sucks. It's going to come in a poly mailer. Like, no one wants that. So I just the more personal, the better. And no Amazon gift cards or
Double back or jump on that too, because actually I bought this this fellow mug for our holiday gift exchange with my family. So everybody picked a name out of a hat. I had to get one for my dad. That's what I picked. And it had the option to put his name on it. I chose not to do it because I didn't like the font or the size of it. But I did spend like $10 to do a custom note and message with the thank you, which the thing cost $30. I don't know, they might get some profit on me there, but you know what? I was like, hey, for $10, it's not going to just come in an empty box. Actually, sorry, that was for my work colleague. I did that for as well. So my dad, I think I just gave it in person, but the work colleague, I just spent $10 extra to put a note in there, so it wasn't just a random package. And if you do personalize it and they don't like it, you can't really return it, but you get that personalized note in there. That's always going to be good. So.
Questions coming in from the chat. Jennifer wants to know, what would we recommend for a nutrition company as far as gifts are concerned? Jennifer, do you mean like a free gift with purchase or gift guides, or how to gift them maybe?
Yeah, Jennifer, are these supplements or are they different type of quote unquote nutrition?
See what she says. While we're waiting to see what she says, we can go ahead with Victoria's. What angle would you recommend taking in V-Day communication when the business is sneakers, and which is more expensive than flowers, et cetera, besides suggesting to gift a gift card? I think first things first, influencers, Brett. I feel like making sure that you're tying in with some sort of social component there, because sneakers have that cool factor a lot. So I feel like younger audiences will really appeal to that kind of user-generated content on Instagram and TikTok. But anybody else have thoughts?
My first thought, which is very specific and kind of seems lame now, but it's like matching sneakers, like match your, I don't know if people match their significant other or like their children. Like some moms or dads like to have like matching shoes and that. So kind of just like putting them visually into your product already.
I love that. That's like the MeUndies strategy, right? It's like the, hey, you should match your partner. And I think it works
Yeah.
really well. People love it.
Sneakers are fun.
So sneakers, the other thing
Oh.
I don't know as well is like if you have free returns, right? That's one thing where it's easier, where you can buy as long as you know the size. If the returns are a little more problematic, I think it's going to be fishing upstream a little bit. But the angle I would probably go with is if you know the size, there's a lot of sneakerheads out there. If these products are going to sell out quick, right? Use that sense of urgency in your messaging. And just try to formulate it around there where you can, whether that's sense of urgency for gift cards or whatever it might be. But I would try to play that angle a little bit more. Sneakers a little bit tough. I'm not sneakerhead, so a little bit challenging for me to give you a great answer on it though.
So let's see, Jennifer got back to us. Yes, just simply getting people to gift nutritional goods like supplements, et cetera. So I think number one for that is that's where some sort of content marketing comes in, like a gift guide plus explanations. It's like, if they're interested in this might be the right thing for them. I also do feel like maybe supplements are a little personal for a gift, so that can be kind of hard unless they've suggested to you that they're into that. What do you guys think?
Yeah, that's kind of a tough one, and I played college sports, so like supplements and proteins and stuff's kind of right up my alley. And I had a significant other at the time gift me some protein powder, and it wasn't the protein that I drank, so it was like, thanks for the gift, but I don't like it. And so it's like, to me, you have to kind of know the audience. If you're going to gift somebody like that, for one, you got to know, are they going to be into this type of supplement and nutritional supplement, whatever it is, and are they going to use it? And if there's some type of return policy you can have on it too, to have them exchange that gift for something that they're going to use. So I think that can kind of help with that as well, having some type of exchange there.
Yeah, I definitely think returns are very important there. And I mean, just because somebody returns something does not mean that it's the end of the line there. I think as long as you have a great experience with that, it's a chance to turn what was, a lost conversion, so to speak, into a future sale by providing them, a completely robust customer experience.
I think I'll add one more point on that, which would be for any of these brands, whether it be nutritionals or wigs, which I love the idea you put in their stuff around the giving. But the mystery, you could put a mystery item in the cart, and then no matter what you send, it's a surprise, it's a delight, and they're not going to be upset because it was free, it was a gift. You get some of your inventory that you have to offload out the door. So I would say mystery is a good just backup option.
Absolutely. So Lisa asked, can you recommend something for a wig business that offers hair and wigs for women with cancer and alopecia? Steph, you had a great answer in the chat about a give back campaign, but does anybody else have some good ideas here?
Yeah. So Steph, I 100% love Steph's answer. I've said 100% a lot of times today, but love the answer. I think it's a really good angle to do. I've gone through this a couple of times with very close family members and friends recently on this exact same thing. So how I would approach it, I think it's less, to me, it was less around gift giving and more about just being direct with them. So there's not taking the mystery out of it, right? It was more, hey, this is what I want to do for you. Please let me know how I could, right? Because you don't want me buying a wig for you, right? Because you're gonna have these your special needs and the looks and feel. you might just want to ruin the mystery there and just be like, hey, this is what I'm doing for you. Help me out with it, and tackle it as kind of a joint effort. And that's how I would approach it, is just being open with it and saying, hey, let me do this with you, not for you. And so it's for you, but it's still with you, right? So you're showing that camaraderie. So that's how I would approach it, just having gone through it.
Absolutely.
I just threw a comment in there. And I think to go off that too, it's kind of like if you do go far, like as far as purchasing a wig for someone and maybe they didn't like it or they had something else in mind, as long as you make that exchange process really easy. I was on another webinar and they like their viewpoint on exchanges was so different in that it was like, think of it as another revenue stream. Don't think of it as returning, but how do we get it into an exchange process and still have them be like one-on-one with our brand? So if you can highlight that from the beginning, like, don't worry, we make it super easy for them to switch out. If anything, this is like something they can use to like a sample or kind of like to test out the product initially. Yes, there you go.
With some makeup companies, et cetera, and people seem to really like those. Awesome.
And I wonder if there's a way too where you could, as kind of the giftee, right? You're giving this gift. If you could provide the recipient's information and connect them with that company, and then they can go ahead and choose the wig of their liking. You know, what fits their style, what they like to see before that purchase is actually made. But then it's almost like in a gift card type of situation where it's already paid for. You're just, the recipient's just kind of choosing that gift at that point.
Yeah. I feel like part of like getting something for yourself in those times where it's nice to be gifted is like, it's just hard to take that initial step to research it. Like I check all the reviews. My partner's really gotten me into like looking at all the competitors too. And like in our industry, you know, so that like that can take a lot out of someone like purchasing that for themselves. So I like that, just kind of like even a quick connection, like a quick way that they can contact you makes it more consultative.
Yeah, I like that word, consultative, for the approach for sure. Our next question is from Sunny. What's a strategy you'd recommend for a home fragrance, selling candles, wax melts, and mist sprays? I think this one's a really good one for Valentine's Day, y'all.
Yeah, for that one, I like the idea of a scent that you may not either one that's Valentine's themed, which is like no brainer. You just be like, hey, this is chocolate scented or something, or teddy bear scented. Would be kind of fun and a little bit weird. But also, I would just say a scent they don't already wouldn't already choose, like let's say campfire s'mores, something that's like totally unique that just gets them to try it out.
Yeah, absolutely. So Sunny said they also just launched. So I feel like that's something else big that could be used in your marketing to make a big splash with everything. Anybody else have some ideas for Sunny?
Also, if you can do like a FOMO situation. So if you do have some of your aromas that are like, you only have 50, you only have 100, you can all of a sudden make that like your Valentine's Day 2023 aroma. And there's only so many. If you don't get it now, too bad, so sad. I mean, the reality is, oh my gosh, you loved it so much, we're going to bring it back permanently, right? Like it doesn't have to actually be permanent, but there's a lot to be said for that type of selling, and it really works well with candles. I'm like, oh, because I'm the same way. Like people are like, oh, we're only launching this month. I'm like, well, I better have it. Probably need it.
That's a good point.
So they smell better than flowers, right? That's an easy angle you can take. They last longer than flowers.
Oh yeah.
They're not going to die. To the point just made as well, think about packaging these, bundling them. So you have a cent a month. So you discount it, but it's 12 candles or 12 mists or 12 whatever for the rest of the year. It takes you through next Valentine's Day. So think about those bundles here as well.
Yeah, that's a great point. I just put this in the chat, but maybe an option to put the gift note on the candle label, if that's a thing that you guys could maybe do. Because I mean, a candle, you'll burn it, it'll be gone. It's not as permanent as a water bottle like Brett was talking about, but it's still got that extra personalization to it as well. Steph, naming it after them, that's another great one as well. Awesome. Any more questions, y'all?
As long as it smells good. I wouldn't name after them if it doesn't smell good. Just to put
Well,
that out
maybe you
there.
send that one anonymously.
Yeah.
I think you smell like this. That'd be cool.
It's got to be a
Like,
teddy.
have
It's got to be a
great
teddy
hair.
bear. Teddy bear scent.
Awesome. Well, as we almost hit the hour, I just want to say thank you guys so much for attending today. And I want to say thank you to all my panelists. You guys are great, had some great ideas, and I think everybody really got something cool they're going to go home and implement for their marketing tonight. The recording will be sent out tomorrow morning to everybody. And thanks so much, y'all. Have a great rest of your Thursday.
Thanks, everyone. Have a good day.